Hey guys, Jody here, and welcome back to my channel. And thank you so very much for once again tuning in. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Jody, and I love the arts. And on my channel, I mostly talk about books, television, and theater. So if you like any of those things, be sure to stick around because I'm certainly going to be talking about one of those things today. And if you like books, and you like reading, and you like book adaptations, today's video might very well just interest you because in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the book adaptation of the best-selling novel, The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. So I'll talk a bit on what I liked about the adaptation, what I didn't like about the adaptation, and yeah, that's what today's video is basically going to be about. So before I get into all my thoughts on the book adaptation, I'll give a brief overview to those of you who have never read the book and are unfamiliar with the story. And if you're looking for more than a brief overview, I have written a spoiler-free book review that you can find on my blog. Link to my blog is in the description below, or you can check out my spoiler-free book review video on my YouTube channel where I talk more about the book. And you can find my book review for this book as well as any other book I've ever reviewed on my channel thus far on my playlist titled Reading Wrap-Ups and Spoiler-Free Book Reviews. So without any further ado, let's get on to today's video. So a brief overview of what The Last Thing He Told Me is about. So it's about a woman named Hannah who lives in Sausalito, California with her husband Owen and her stepdaughter Bailey. Hannah lives a pretty simple, quiet, happy life. And that all changes one day when she receives a note from Owen that just simply says protect her. Hannah doesn't know what this means, so she tries to, contact Owen and she can't reach him. And as the story progresses, you quickly learn that, Owen has basically run away. And the rest of the story is about Hannah and Bailey finding out why he would do that. So, yeah, that's what the story is about. So, as far as my thoughts on the book adaptation, now there were more things I liked than didn't like about this adaptation. I'll start with what I liked. What I liked about this adaptation, for one, is I liked that the story went at a faster pace on the show. Now, personally for me, I didn't mind how the story went at what I would call quite an extremely slow pace in the book. And I attribute that to Laura Dave's writing. Just an amazing writer, a very well-written story. And realistically, though, that slow pace could never have worked on the show. It would just taken too long to have told the story, and I don't think it would have worked as well on screen as it did on the page. And especially since the show only consisted of 7 episodes, so I did think that was a good creative decision, creative change from book to screen. And yeah, moving on. So the next thing I really appreciated about this adaptation was I really liked the cast. And I'll just, focus on the lead character of Hannah. Jennifer Garner played Hannah on the show, and I thought she did an absolutely remarkable job as Hannah, a woman whose life gets turned upside down in the matter of a moment. She gave just a really great performance, probably one of my favorite performances on television of 2023. I was a bit disappointed to see Jennifer Garner did not receive an Emmy nomination, but regardless of all that, just, like I said, an amazing job, an amazing performance. And now for what I didn't like about the adaptation, there was only one thing I really didn't care for, and that was how the ending was portrayed on screen. Now, let me clarify this for those of you who have read the book but have not yet tuned into the show. So the ending in the book and the ending on the show are more or less identical to one another. So this is not a spoiler by any means, but the ending has not changed. So don't worry about that. So for me, the ending on screen felt very much like a blink it or miss it moment. I feel like I didn't feel anything when I saw that ending. Whereas when I read the book, it was such an impactful ending. It struck such a chord with me, and it was such a beautifully tragic ending. And it's an ending to a book I will never ever forget. Like I said, it's just like a very memorable ending because of how it ended. And like on the show, I feel like they didn't give that ending its proper moment. It felt like, okay, it's over. Whereas in the book, I felt like Laura Dave really took her time with this ending, really gave it its proper moment in the story. And I just felt like, I don't know if I said this already, but I just felt like the ending had more of an impact for me on the page rather versus how it was on the screen. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the book adaptation, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. And I wouldn't say The Last Thing He Told Me book adaptation is my favorite adaptation ever made, but it's still very much a solid and well done adaptation, and definitely a television show that's worth watching for sure, whether you read the book or whether you haven't read the book. I think it's still, regardless, a very well done, beautifully done television show, and I would recommend it for sure because it's a great show, like I said, and a great story. And yeah, let me know in the comments below if you have watched the book adaptation of The Last Thing You Told Me. What are your thoughts on it? Did you think the show lived up to the book? Did you like the book more? Did you like the show more? Did you like both equally? And let me know your thoughts on how the ending was portrayed on screen. Did you prefer did you agree with me on how the ending was just handled better in the book versus on the show? You know, I'm just curious if it's just me on that one. So love to hear your thoughts on that one as well. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so very much for tuning in. And until next time, bye.